Yeah. Hi there. Welcome to the Green Shoe Conversations. I'm Stephanie Cochran, and I'm the Executive Director of the Green Shoe Foundation. And we want to wish everybody a very, very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. This is now our traditional Christmas podcast. So second year in a row, I guess we can call it now a tradition, right? So this is kind of a fun time for all of us to kind of come together into the year, getting ready for the holidays, and just kind of talk about things that have been going on this year, our favorite holiday things. And to be honest, who knows what's going to come up? Anything kind of come up. So I'm going to do the whole Brady Bunch around the screens here. I've got Miss Amanda Newland. You'll say hi, Amanda.
Hello.
And then below Amanda, I've got Miss Teresa Deck, our clinical director, and Miss Rebecca Holt, one of our therapists.
Hello.
And then continue moving on along. I've got Miss Roberta Heath and Stephen Brinkworth. They just wave. There is no hello.
Very in sync.
I know. Well, and here's really the funny thing. So in order to kind of make sure we can actually see faces really good, we're all like in offices right next door to each other. So I could just bang on the wall and say, hey guys, talk more. So, but we are in this week, and can y'all believe that the year's almost over, that it's finishing up? No, I mean, it's so crazy. We finished our last groups last week, and we have finished the year with completing 264 groups now, with 1,260 participants completing our program. I know. Really nice numbers, but just a giant accomplishment. I know, and it's exciting for us to have so many lives that have been touched, and to be able to kind of come through our program, and for us to be able to share the model and the work that we do. So it's been so exciting. Of course, then leading in for a little bit of break for us. It's important that we take a break. And I see Teresa.
And breathe.
And breathe. As much as we've spent this whole year talking about self-care, it's so important that we take care of ourselves, and do that. So leading that, and with that is Christmas. And so I'm going to kind of ask some fun questions and kind of getting everybody to kind of pipe in. Some of these we may have, even asked, last year, but like I said, we have now started a tradition with our traditional Christmas podcast. So what are some of y'all's favorite Christmas traditions or holiday traditions that you guys do?
Stephanie, can I start by saying too, we have no idea what you're going to ask us, just so
Right.
everyone knows. That's why.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a little nervous. Okay.
These are like Stephanie's surprise questions. We love these, by the way.
I know.
These are our
It's going to
favorite.
be nice, I promise, but you're not allowed to pass. So you have to somewhat answer.
There are no prepared
Or randomly get
so I will
disconnected.
say that.
Yes.
Right, Teresa, yeah, no prepared answers. Everybody's getting off the cuff. In fact, we didn't even really prepare. This is probably us as off the cuff as you're going to get us.
So you have been warned.
Okay.
All right.
Christmas traditions. One of mine is just thinking about why I love Christmas so much. And part of it is just getting to see family members. When I was young, a lot of family members that I didn't get to see a lot. And at Christmas time, I knew they were always going to be there. So grandpa and grandmas and aunts and uncles that came from places. And so that was the fun part for me, was getting the whole family together.
Mm-hmm. That's an awesome one.
That's really sweet. We, Zach and I started a tradition where we start watching Christmas movies on December 1st up till Christmas Day. So Christmas Eve is reserved for White Christmas, because that's his favorite holiday movie. But we have like this little jar where we've thrown in movies, and we just draw from the jar, and that's what we watch that day leading up to. So yeah,
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about this at lunch, but this is kind of a newer one for my husband and I, but he always gets out the guitar and we sing Christmas songs together. Yeah.
And she just played one at lunch for us today when we were eating Silent Night, and it was so awesome. So
yes, man. Why was this not recorded and sent out? Why weren't we invite via Zoom? Like, hey, Rebecca and Aaron is starring. Come on. We were just talking about that too at the Christmas party. Like, when's he going to start playing again? And there you go. Thanks for the invite.
Yes. Thank you all for the encouragement.
Steve, Roberta, what about you guys?
We've got a family tradition that kind of happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas, making candy. Aunt Bill's candy. And this was the 85th my mom and I continuing that tradition and making it this year. So that's always something that's fun. And there's varying ways that the recipe comes out, but it always brings back a lot of really joyful memories. The other piece, there has typically been a present opened on Christmas Eve. So everybody got to pick one. So that's kind of been a fun tradition too. And then in the past, we've kind of had a marathon of family going to different houses. And this year and last year just looked a little different. And so it'll be good to have time with me and Victoria and Jalen and just really getting time together and then seeing family as we can.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. What about you, Roberta?
So along the same lines of Amanda, I start December 1st, I start movie marathons, and I have a list before of what I'm going to see. And then if I find anything that I haven't seen, if I'm just browsing, I'll watch that. So Christmas movie marathons. And more recently, our family, and we haven't gotten to do this the last couple of years because of the pandemic, but we had started taking the whole family on a Christmas trip. So, and the kids just love that. So all the kids, and we just kind of go somewhere and plan it all through the year. So hopefully we get to start that back up soon.
Something we've always done since the boys were little was make Christmas cookies. And we usually do it a couple nights before, Christmas Eve for Santa, and haven't really got to do it the last couple of years. I mean, some of it's pandemic, some of it's having, college kid and kids going away and different stuff. I'm excited because we're going to do it this year. And so it's like, and that was something the boys asked for. Hey, Mom, we want to make the Christmas cookies again. I'm like, okay. So we'll be doing that. So I'm really looking forward. To doing that again and decorating the cookies and having fun with that. So there's lots of fun stories about icing being thrown over the years. So hopefully that won't happen again, but we won't be at my house, so that may be okay. So when that happens. But so what about funny stories that have happened? Like, what's your favorite kind of Christmas misadventure, should I say? Might be a good way of putting it.
Do you want to start to give an example?
I could start to give example, and I'm not going to give the example I gave at lunch yesterday. No, that might have to be a teaser for next year. But one year we gave one of the boys, it's kind of like a go-kart, but it had the thing you would pull up and it would spin, and so, that's Santa brought it, and then we have to go out and try it out, and he's out in the cul-de-sac, running it around. But the problem is if you push the accelerator too far and pulled the thing, you would start spinning, and then the centrifugal force would then force you back and you couldn't stop. And so my child is now spinning in the middle of the road like this and won't stop and can't stop, and he can't pull himself up enough to stop. So we have to somehow try to stop him and get his head up so he can get his foot down. And so it was quite funny. That was definitely a misadventure.
Okay. I'm pondering, so feel free, everyone.
So I have a pretty funny one about my youngest child, Charlie. When they were 4 years old, they were, and you guys have heard me talk about Charlie and how adventurous they are and how, really great they are. But when they were 4 years old, it was Christmas Eve, all went to bed, waiting for Santa, that kind of thing. The next morning we woke up and all of the Christmas presents were unwrapped. So we found out that Charlie had gotten up in the middle of the night, unwrapped all of the Christmas gifts.
All of them.
A couple of the Christmas gifts were missing, so we had to find But one Christmas gift was for my oldest daughter, Alana. It was like $100 gift card to her favorite store or whatever. We didn't find that until June. Very good at hiding.
Oh, that's awesome. Where was the gift card?
It ended up, it was in the couch, like stuffed. Yeah,
Yeah.
fell down in there. So
That's cool.
Good.
That's what's up.
Have a Christmas, my dad used to take movies, especially at Christmas time, in those old 8mm reel movies. And so we have this captured on tape, and there's no sound to them too. So that's always fun watching them. But my brother, he was probably 12, 13, maybe 14. So I would have been about 5 years younger. Anyway, so we were at my uncle's and opening presents at my aunt and uncle's, and there was a shotgun or a 22 or one of the guns that they used to go hunting, and so they took him to this gun rack, and there was on the gun rack was the new gun for my brother that had a bow, and it said to Gary on. He just went berserk and started yelling and screaming, and he jumped up on my uncle and was thanking him, and it was from my mom and dad, and everybody had to go, no, it's not from me, it's from mom and dad. But he was so excited and was thanking Uncle RM for this gun that wasn't from RM, and it was just funny watching him try and figure that out, and watching this on the old movie with There Was No Movie. So it was pretty cool. Figuring out it was gun and who it was from and all of that. So that's about the funniest one I can remember.
That's fun.
What other misadventures?
I don't have any that are coming to mind, but I've had many a Christmas with a cat
Yeah.
tree and the
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah. And
I'm like making cat moves as I talk about it.
right. And your
okay, we're
cat
not
always-
talking on the level of National Lampoons, are we?
Oh, yeah, no.
Many a cat has taken down the tree. I've woken up mornings and it's just,
Yeah.
yep.
Well, and your cat always seems to know when we're doing podcasts, because if you're at home, all of a sudden there's the cat behind you just primming, and then you'll never know when the cat zooms across the computer.
yeah.
But yeah, always, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't,
You,
I feel
Rebecca,
like,
I'm
yeah.
not for sure of a specific Christmas mishap, but one of the things that's coming to mind was a ton of fun, and I looked goofy as all get in it. I was probably 8 or 9 years old, and my mom got me a pair of things called Bob shorts, and it was like this pleather material that had elastic at the top and at the bottom of each short leg. The end of them were runners from a sled, so you could sit down in the snow and you turn yourself into your own sled. And so my mom and her parents lived about a block apart, and there was a hill in between us, and so I could ride the hill all the way down to our house. Fun, but there wasn't anybody videoing, and it was just a fun time.
Your own sled pants.
And they looked goofy.
Yeah.
I bet. They sound like it.
Do you have pictures of this?
want
My
proof.
mom probably does.
I would like to see those.
Yeah.
Yes, Linda, if you're watching, please send us the
Yes.
sled camp picture.
Yes, and she will too. So
I think for me, all of our Christmases were a mishap. So I'm really trying to dial in on one, but from my mom, I'm like at my mom, so I don't want to say this, but like from like my mom running her car into the kitchen to falling off the trampoline and trying to do a snowball fight to stubbing her toe on the table. So it's always been like evolved around my mom's mishaps.
let's back up. Your mom ran her car into the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be considered a mishap.
You win. You win.
So my mom had this car that was not in the best of condition. And our house at the time was at the bottom of the hill. So we're coming down the hill and the brakes go out. And she runs into like through the driveway into the kitchen. But what it looks like from the exterior of the house that she just hit the spigot. But when we would go into the house, the entire wall of the kitchen is pushed out into the middle. So like the sink, the dishwasher, everything just damaged. And our stepdad he was at poker night. So my mom, we didn't have cell phones at the time. So my mom goes to our neighbors and calls our dad, and he doesn't believe her. He thinks it's all made up. So then the neighbor has to come over, or sorry, we're over there. He gets on the phone. It's like, hey, this is what actually happened. Yes. Like she ran through the kitchen. So he comes home and all of that. But the backstory to this is what my sister and I didn't realize at the time is my mom was gunning for a new car and for a remodel of the kitchen. And this happened. So
It's very convenient.
that's all I got. But she got a new kitchen and she got a new car.
Okay, I'm going to switch gears on you guys and actually get serious for a minute. So put your work hats on for just a second, because I heard something earlier this week when I was, just listening about Christmas, and these are common questions. People start talking about it's fun, the traditions, favorite movies, carols, things like that. But they brought up holiday blues, and it got me thinking. This is a time of year that can be really rough for people, and in thinking about our 5 core issues with the model that we talk about: self-esteem, boundaries, reality, dependency, and moderation. Everybody struggles in those areas, some more than others. And we talk about too in dealing with family and boundaries and all of that. So I'm just going to kind of throw this out there. If somebody's listening or watching this craziness, and they struggle with this is a hard time of year, difficult family, knowing how to set boundaries, or just how to build yourself up. What kinds of things would you guys recommend, or have you experienced in the holidays?
I was going to say boundaries is one of the most difficult things with families, and setting healthy boundaries, because if you were brought up in a dysfunctional family, boundaries usually were not set. And so being able now to set a healthy boundary, if you're an adult with your parents, it's going to be hard, because immediately when you walk back into your parents' home, you feel like a child again sometimes. And so being able to take care of yourself and say, I'm an adult and I have a right to be here or not be here. If I choose, what do I need to do to take care of myself? And so just checking in with yourself and saying, what's the best thing that I need to do for me and my family? And how can I set a boundary and still be loving and kind, and still set the boundary and say, this is okay and this is not okay. This is not helpful for me and this is helpful. So I think just giving yourself that time to look inside and notice what's coming up for you, and what you choose to do and not do is okay.
I know for me, always, and like you said, immediately back in, my parents' house, I flip into that pleaser role. And so I've, and in past Christmases, it's very stressful. I've got to make sure everybody's okay, make sure they have the right gifts and things are, going well. And it's been amazing, the work over the last couple of years, like tomorrow, going over there, and I don't have that stress because I'm not worried about that. My purpose in going is just to be with family and making those connections. And so it's amazing just making that shift on how I feel about going home or seeing family. And I have some difficult family members, but again, I know how to set boundaries with them. And I, not to sound rude, could care less now if they like their gift or not like their gift. I bought it out of love, and it's being given out of love. And that's all that matters.
We all have difficult family members.
Yes. And I'm not saying who, but yeah.
No, we don't have to.
Yeah.
And notice your role. Notice, everybody notice what has been my role in the past, and what do I want my role to be today? It can be totally different, because you're in charge of yourself and what role you want to take on when you go into that family situation.
Right. And that's the best part, what you just said, is you can choose the role, you can change it. What you want to, what you want.
Yeah. I think for some people, it's not the most wonderful time of the year
Yeah.
for a variety of reasons. And I think it's okay to feel that, it's okay to feel grief or pain or anger or whatever it is. I mean, you have a right to feel that. I recently saw Larry David talked about Christmas, and he hates this time of year because it throws the schedule off.
Uh-huh.
And so for some people, the holidays are not magical
Right.
and wonderful, and that's okay. You have to find what is right for you
Yeah.
in that, and letting others know, that what you do is not for me, or this is what I can do and what I can't do, kind of going back to the boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think it's important too to acknowledge that for a lot of people, this is not the happiest time of year. And, to check on your family and friends, that you know that about, and not try to make them happy, but let them be, kind of just be there with them, because sometimes they do need to be sad. So the holidays can bring up a lot of sad feelings for people.
Yeah. Absolutely. I was going to say, even just like checking on with family, social media is great, but it's okay to step away from it and actually be present with the people that are around you. And if you are checking on someone, maybe disconnect from social for, a few minutes and actually make a phone call just to have that human connection.
Yeah. Yeah. Not just about the like or heart button or the hug button.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I know for me, this time of year is when my anti-dependence kicks in. So feeling like you have to do it all and you have to do everything, and being reluctant to reach out for help and let people know I can't do it all. I can't do everything. And so it's really important too, is to be willing to admit to yourself, you can't do it all, and be okay. Like that's okay.
Yeah. Me and Rebecca, by the way, are doing this. I'm not listening. I watched Rebecca's face and she was like, "Oh, wait." Yeah. No, I know. Yeah. Yeah. And if everything doesn't get done, it's okay.
Yeah. Taking time for yourself is hugely important. That comes with those boundaries, like you guys mentioned. Also, we get wrapped up in so many of those people-pleasing invitations to show up and engage in a way that really is not from a place of balance, and it's exhausting. And so really listening to yourself about what you need during this season is hugely important, because sometimes that's taking a break from all of the festivities that are going on. And just like you were mentioning, Rebecca, with feel what you're feeling. I may be sitting with some grief from the loss of family members that I don't have with me this year, and I really don't feel like being festive with everybody else. And so you need to take some time to be with myself, be with some other people that I can process that grief with, and be true to me. But also recognize too the toll that it takes in being present with all of those other invitations from family, from friends, and that can be overwhelming as well. And but I really think it's important to take some time for yourself during the holidays.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I know something that we're all doing, especially next week, making sure we're taking time for ourselves and and taking care of us. That's so important. Okay, Amanda, you had a good kind of fun question for us to do the roundabout with.
Trying to remember it. If you could be a character in your favorite Christmas movie, who is the character and what is the movie and why? Rebecca's, your face is everything right now.
I'm thinking. All I can think about right now, movie-wise, is Ernest Saves Christmas. That's the most recent Christmas movie I watched.
All the movies, I would not have gone there.
I know, not expecting that either. That's funny.
It's a classic.
And I don't know who I would be in the movie, but Scrooged with Bill Murray is one of my favorites.
Oh,
That is a good one.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Is it the Ghost of Christmas Past is the fairy and she punches him in the face? I think that's what I would
love
like
that
to be.
scene.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
A little bit of my violence comes through, I know, with that one. Yeah, I love her. She takes the
With a little
toaster.
glitter X on his cheek.
Yep. Yep.
That's funny.
I think probably I would be Cindy Lou Who.
Aw, that's cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really cute.
She's so optimistic and believes the best about everyone. So
Mhm.
That's fun.
What about you, Amanda? You came up with the question.
Yeah, I really don't know. I went to 4 Christmases with Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. So I would love to be Reese just because she's so peppy. But then I also went the other way in my natural form. And I was like, The Nightmare Before Christmas. I would love to be Sally because she's very optimistic. She's like the Lou Who version of the Tim Burton world. So
She is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Sally.
Yeah. Although I did see, I know Facebook post today, it's one of our fellow mental health professionals here in Oklahoma City. He is at the Nakatomi building in California, which I've actually seen, but so that made me think about Die Hard. Wouldn't that be cool to be at the Nakatomi building today and be able to kind of go up on the 30th floor and yeah. So
Not experienced Die Hard.
Whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie or not, but
It is a movie.
it is.
it is.
It is.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's a Christmas movie.
Just like Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie.
Gremlins.
Gremlins, yeah.
Now I argued that Love Actually is a Christmas movie.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
my
it
favorite
is.
Christmas
Thank
movie.
you. Okay.
Yes,
Thank
that's my
you.
favorite.
It
Yeah.
happens during Christmas.
Right. Thank you very much. So
Man,
yeah.
those are fighting words.
Clearly, y'all just help me out on an argument later. So,
Here's some points for you.
yeah. Okay. I'll kind of last couple things just real quick. Favorite Christmas carol.
Silent Night.
That's mine too.
Carol of the Bells.
Mhm.
Mm.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
I'll be home for Christmas.
Oh.
Mhm.
I don't carol, so I don't know.
Ball humbug.
Thank you. Yes, I'll take it.
There was some great music in The Night Before Christmas. There really was.
The Nightmare Before Christmas?
Night Before Christmas. Some great music.
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, not your traditional,
I mean, it's not peppy. I like Sugar Plum Fairies. That's probably like my favorite.
Oh, there you go.
But it's more instrumental. It's not.
Oh no. But like Carol the Bells done instrumentally too is one of my favorites.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah. I love the Christmas music. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up kind of saying this, and this is something we actually talked about last year. Yes, I did go back and listen because we were really, last Christmas was different. And again, we're still in COVID and we're still dealing with the effects of the pandemic. And we really encouraged people last year to start new traditions. And I know for my family, not just with the pandemic, but we're also going through life stage changes. Kids are leaving the nest, and instead of being upset about maybe traditions we don't get to do anymore, we've been excited about the new traditions. And that's kind of where I want to encourage everyone is what new traditions are people exploring and different things, and and just enjoying their choices and then themselves and finding spontaneity. So I know Teresa really we'll get into that and talk about how fun it is just to be spontaneous. So
Yes, she is.
yes. So, in the new year, Amanda's going to share with us what she did spontaneous over the holidays. And
We're going to Broken Bow. That's our new
Yeah.
tradition. So that's spontaneous. Granted, it was planned well in advance, but it's spontaneous.
yeah, but it's also
somehow,
going to be like 80 degrees. So we may have some lake jumping y'all could do.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just set E aside. Here we go. He's going to be 1, y'all.
Mhm.
Like this time last year, I was as big as like 6 hippos, but he is going to be 1.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
new tradition next year, celebrate E's birthday.
There you go. All right. Well, we wish everybody a very, very, very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. And again, we will be back first of January, and starting out our new year and what our kind of yearly theme is. So we look forward to hearing from y'all. But again, please reach out if you need us. Greenshoe.org, the website, or just email us at info@greenshoe.org. And we will talk with everybody next time.